USPAP 7-hour National Update Course 2022 through 2023, Chapter 5. Where does the answer to your question live? Page 1. Chapter Overview. Chapter Overview. Learning objectives for Chapter 5. Upon completion of this chapter, participants will be able to identify the necessary steps in answering USPAP questions. Recognize that not all appraisal questions are answered in USPAP. And apply the steps in solving an example problem. End of page.
For every problem, no matter what type, there is a systematic approach to solving it. For example, the valuation process has specific defined steps, beginning with identify the problem to be solved. A crucial step in solving a USPAP-related problem, that is, answering a USPAP question, is to understand where your question lives in the USPAP publication. In answering USPAP questions, a three-step process can be employed. Step 1, define the problem. Step 2, identify sources for solutions. Step 3, conclude the answer. In the previous chapter, you have refamiliarized yourself with the contents of the USPAP publication. Now, the course will turn to developing a process for how to quickly answer USPAP-related questions using the publication.
Page 3. Questions. Starting with some internationally simple scenarios. Consider the following questions, which you have likely asked yourself at various times. Later in the course, after we have practiced interpreting questions, we will take on questions that have a greater level of nuance. I am trying to understand. Number 1. If a specific situation requires compliance with USPAP or not. Number 2. If the valuation service I am providing is one I am performing as an appraiser or not. Number 3, if the service I am performing is part of appraisal practice, but not an appraisal or an appraisal review. And number 4, if what a potential client is asking of me is considered a new assignment or not. What do these questions have in common? They should all be asked and answered before agreeing to perform an appraisal or appraisal review assignment. This group of similar questions is used to highlight an extremely important concept when searching for answers to your USPAP-related questions. Where does the answer to your question live in the USPAP publication? If you have ever shopped in a big box home improvement store, you probably know the feeling of looking for one thing and not knowing where it is. For example, let's say you are looking for pipe cement. Is it in the plumbing section? Is it in the hardware section? Is it in the section near the paint area where glues and adhesives are displayed? Even if you have a strong inkling that it is in the plumbing section, you still might not be able to find it quickly because the section of the store is so large. Wandering aimlessly around the store will take a great deal of time and is not likely to yield the desired result. The USPAP publication is analogous to this home improvement store. You are looking for only one thing, and you don't know where it might be. But you can't just flip randomly through the publication, scanning each page, because that will take forever. The more time you spend becoming familiar with the USPAP publication, the more skilled you will become at finding these answers. Again, not unlike shopping at a home improvement store. End of page. Number 1, quiz. Paging randomly through USPAP, searching for an answer without defining the problem and creating a plan is analogous to ready, set, go. A, flying a large kite with a 500 string. B, filling up a fuel tank, gasoline powered automobile with diesel fuel. C, wandering aimlessly through a home improvement store for one item. Or D, using a 1/4-inch plywood. All right, you got it right. So remember, paging randomly through USPAP, searching for an answer without defining the problem and creating a plan is analogous to, you said, wandering aimlessly through a home improvement store looking for one item. Number 2, a systematic approach may be employed to answer USPAP questions. What is the first step in this process? Ready, set, go. Scan the advisory pins, define the problem, open the USPAP application, consult an instructor. Boom, you got it right. I had a haul ass. So remember, a systematic approach may be employed to answer USPAP questions. What is the first step in this process? You said define the problem, and that was correct.